Greystones, of course, another big win at the weekend. They're 4th in 4 games. They sit comfortably top of the table, 3 points clear of Dungannon, who are obviously in second place on that table. We might catch up with their captain, their lock, Eoin Marmion, and he joins us now. Eoin, you're very, very welcome to the programme.
Thanks for having me, lads. Yeah, it's great to get on the show.
Well, you're very welcome. We're delighted to have you. And I suppose ahead of a clash with my local side down here, Sligo, at the weekend, we had to invite you on to try and get some background knowledge and a little bit of some of the insights you're going to give us over the next 10 or 15 minutes or so, obviously. But in terms...
Sorry, go for it. I know I was saying I can't be giving away any secrets now tonight, but...
We'll see. We'll see. We've got a few minutes. In terms of, I suppose, the season so far, you've got to be happy with 4 wins from 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can't not be happy with 4 from 4, but of course you can't get complacent. Like we've been 9 from 9 at Christmas, and we haven't won the league, so we learned that kind of thing the hard way. Complacency will kill you, so we got to just keep the heads down and keep plowing on each week. Yeah. So yeah, on to Sligo this week, which is always a tough place to go. It's a long journey. The weather's never great, but I was saying just there earlier that I've only ever played there when it was sunny. I played once last year, and the sun was splitting the stones down there, which was a shock to everyone on the bus down. But yeah, no, I'll probably get the worst of the weather this weekend. But yeah, what can you do?
What do you think has went well for you guys though this season in the first 4 games?
I think we had a long preseason, so we had a long preseason, so everyone was kind of with each other and around each other from July. So we kind of come together as a group a lot. We have a new head coach, Dan Kenny, and Stewart as well, and they kind of wanted to bring in their plays and their different kind of set piece early on. So we've spent a bit of time together getting those right, and it didn't come together for a while, to be honest, but it's starting to come together now, and it's come at the right time, come the start of AIL. So yeah, I'd say it's just the coaches and having time together to get a long preseason in.
You mentioned 9 from 9 at the start of last year, and the way that the whole COVID affected league over the last couple of seasons. Had it been a normal year, of course, you'd have been promoted as top of the table. There was no automatic promotion last year. Does that rank her a little bit? Is that something you kind of a little bit disappointed with how that all panned out?
Yeah, it's one of those things, like you can't do anything about it. It's out of your control, so there's no point moaning and groaning about it. But it definitely was a bit of they let us know the night before our last match before Christmas was when they sent out an email. So it was going into that. I think it was 8 from 8 going into that. And yeah, we ended up, I think the heads kind of dropped a little bit hearing that, being like, oh, kind of what's the point? Those thoughts go through your head as much as you don't want them to, but yeah, that's just the way it goes sometimes. So you just got to deal with it, and we knew it halfway through that we just had to keep pushing on for the rest of the season. So which I think we did as well, and we had a good second half to the season. It was just that last game against Blackrock in the very, very final play that killed us. But yeah, we have to just move on from that.
And how do you bounce back from something like that? Like last play of the game, losing out in promotion. Like how do you G the lads up and kind of get them ready to go again this time around?
Yeah, I mean, it is tough to... You have the whole kind of summer to think about it and think of what could have gone right, what should have gone right. But then you kind of you get over it over the summer, and you come together as a group again towards the end of the summer, the start of preseason, and you kind of just talk about what you want to do and what you expect from the season, and kind of just talk it out and put all the cards on the table from everyone, and then everyone just has to buy into it. That's more or less it, really.
Yeah, talk to us a little bit about the impact that you mentioned briefly there yourself about Dan, what he's brought in. What has he brought in that's been different from last year? Because you were probably the most dominant side in that division last year. It's a tough task to follow that. But you seem to have matched last season's intensity with this. How much has that been down to maybe a fresh voice in the dressing room?
Yeah, there's that, and he also plays with us, so it makes my job as captain a lot easier when your coach is there beside you in the pack playing. So But he brings, not only is he a great player and he leads by example on the pitch, but he's very smart in terms of he does his homework. He knows like where the space is and what moves to run at what times. He's a bit of a wizard in the lineouts. He knows exactly what's going on, which I've learned a lot from. And yeah, he does his homework. He knows. Don't want to give too much away, but even against Belfast last week, he showed us clips of like 3 or 4 of their different lineouts that they had done so far in the season, and that was their first 4 lineouts that they did in the game. And Jack, our second row, took every single one of them. So that kind of stuff comes down to Dan, the coaches, big time, just them doing their homework, and then also relaying it to the lads as well. Like, because a lot of the time you can be overloaded with information, and then when you get on the pitch, you're full of adrenaline, and sometimes things can just go out the window. So yeah, they just have to. They've been doing well, getting the information to us and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
That would be my next question, I suppose. Was it hard adapting to a new coaching setup? Because Kevin Lewis was there for a long time, and then Warren O'Kelly as well. Like, is it hard to, when a new coach comes in, to get used to the way he likes doing things, or have you all just settled in really well?
Yeah, you see, it was kind of a smooth transition with Dan because he played with us and kind of was a bit of an assistant coach, pack leader last year. So it was a smooth transition that he was there, and it wasn't just a new lad coming in out of nowhere kind of thing. But yeah, they're very different styles in coaching anyway. Like Kev Lewis is old school, and same with Warren. They'd be old school out in the rain, beating the crap out of each other on a Tuesday night, whereas Dan is kind of more how to say it, more, I don't know, he's less about beating each other up and more about kind of, they have a bit of kind of player management and not going too hard on a Tuesday if you've had a tough match on the weekend, that kind of stuff. Yeah, they're different styles, and Stuart's great as well. Stuart does all the scrummaging and a lot of the lineouts and video analysis and stuff. So yeah, no, it's good. It's very different. We're done at 9 o'clock on the dot every Tuesday and Thursday, whereas Kevin's can drag on sometimes, depending if we're getting it right or not. You know.
In terms of your own personal involvement, of course. Been involved with Greystones, your whole family's involved with Greystones, a couple of brothers on the team as well. But you took a little bit of a break. That kind of COVID interrupted. You went to Vancouver for a little while. COVID kind of spoiled that a little bit. Have you got that wanderlust, that little bit travel bug out of your system, or is that something that might happen down the future, or will you be in that Greystones shirt for a couple of years more?
Yeah, I think so. Like, my plan is to stick it out here. Once you come back, you get a job and you settle in and you get a place to live and all that kind of stuff. So I think the stage I'm at now, I've probably got it out of my system. I mean, never say never, but kind of settling down here now, and I'm enjoying it. And I think the time away from the rugby, I didn't play at all when I was over there. And I think that gave like kind of relit the fire to start getting back into it. And it was one of the things I missed the most when I was over there. Because you'd still be in the WhatsApp groups, you'd see it all going on. You'd get sent the video and you'd watch it back and all that, even when you're over there, and you'd see what's going on. And there's a bit of, you feel like you're missing out or whatever. But I know it's definitely came back ready to go and very eager to get back into it. To be honest, yeah, I played a bit of Aussie rules over in Vancouver actually, which was pretty random.
But your two brothers, Killian and Shane, are both on the team as well. You were just telling me that Shane's suffered a bad injury, which isn't nice to hear. Like, he's a fantastic player as well. But what's it like playing with your brothers?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's obviously it's great for my family and for my parents and my grandparents who come down to watch the games. They absolutely love it, and we have a big family involvement in the club. But yeah, no, it is brilliant to you have that extra kind of bond with your brother than you would with anybody else, you know. And when things get tough, kind of stuff, you can look to each other. And luckily, Kill was captain previously before me. He'd always kind of step up in the big moments when the team would need him, and I always respected that and looked up to him about that kind of stuff. So. Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, unfortunate about Shane, but there's plenty of time once he just focuses on the rehab and comes back stronger. He does have the talent and the skill to get into the team. So the day will hopefully come down the line again.
Talking about the rest of the season, I suppose Killian won't play any part in that. But I'm talking Killian, sorry, Shane won't play any part in the rest of the season. But hopefully yourself and Killian will be part of that squad to the end of the year. You set a decent target of unbeaten games last year. Can you go better this year? Is there a chance that we could be seeing double figures? Could we see 15, 16? Is 18 beyond the realms of possibility?
Well, nothing's beyond the realms of possibility at all now, but I'm not going to jinx anything. We're just going to take it game by game and week by week. And the last thing you want to be doing is thinking about the end of the season when you're midway through, when you've only won 4 games. So, yeah, we just got to not get ahead of ourselves and just keep focusing on do our homework on the team that we're playing next week. And every game is the biggest game of the year. That's how we see it.
And I was going to ask you, who's the best player you've played with actually in Greystones?
That's a tough one.
He has to say the brothers, right? Because
it's a trick question.
Kill definitely, to be honest, Kill would be up there. I'm not going to lie. But I'd say probably maybe Andrew Keeley was probably one of the people I looked up to the most because he was captain and the best player when I came through from 20s, and just his kind of his smarts. He's not going to be running through people, but he's got good rugby smarts and he knows the game so well and always kind of makes the right decision at the right time, which is a very tough thing to do,
Absolutely. Well, go, Ciaran, you go.
No, you go.
No, I was just going to say thanks so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure catching up with you. Of course, it's Sligo for you on Saturday for yourself and your Greystones teammates. I'm not going to wish you the very best luck, but I wish you a little bit of luck at the game, and hopefully you continue to put that pressure on the other teams around you at the top of the table. And,
I'm from Wicklow now, Breifne. I want the Greystones boys to get the win, so
we'll fight about it off air afterwards. It'll be fine.
Thanks, really, lads. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for joining us. Really enjoyed having you on.